Hello, Rob Scott here with breaking news out of the United States. There has been a shooting at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C., where the US President Donald Trump was the guest of honour. Witnesses heard several loud bangs coming from the lobby of the Hilton Hotel where this dinner was being held. Secret Service agents then stormed the stage where the President and the First Lady were sitting, ordering them to duck behind the table. The President, the First Lady and several of his cabinet members who were in the crowd were quickly ushered out of that ballroom. They are all now safe. The shooter, we are hearing, is in custody. We'll have more on this breaking news as it comes to hand.
This is sarcastic, hilarious, it's paradox, it is wicked fun. I guess I need to call the Pope in here. We need to pray.
Breaking news, it's been confirmed there was a shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Just moments ago, an active shooter was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, rushing President Trump, his wife, J.D. Vance, and numerous other cabinet members out of the building as fast as possible. President Trump has reported that all high-level administration members are in safe condition. However, we are hearing that a Secret Service agent was allegedly shot while wearing a vest. The suspect has been apprehended. A 30-year-old man from California is all that we know. We have such few details right now as to what happened, but are expected to learn more in the coming hours. Now, in your opinion, has the Secret Service failed over numerous major political attacks over the last several years? Share your thoughts in the comments.
We have some news. Donald Trump just put out a statement about the shooting tonight at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He just did it moments ago at 9:17 p.m. He said, "Quite an evening in D.C., which is a very weird way to describe this. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. Signed, Donald J. Trump." Now, CNN reported that the shooter was killed. Donald Trump is saying that the shooter has been apprehended, so we don't exactly know what happened to the shooter. We don't know anything about their identity or what they were doing there. But according to the Wall Street Journal, who spoke to someone who saw the shooter, apparently he was carrying what appeared to be a rifle and magazines, but he also fell flat right in front of her. So a lot of details coming out. We're trying to make sense of it all. But thankfully, nobody was injured. The perimeter has been secured. Everybody is safe, which is obviously good news. That is the most important thing here.
As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly. And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise." And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. we very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said one. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.
So there was just a shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. As you can see here, Donald Trump gets grabbed and removed by his protective detail. Got a couple more pictures of members of the administration getting pulled out as well, and National Guard running up. Allegedly, the Secret Service has the shooter in custody. Not sure if there's any wounded, not sure if there's any injured. Obviously, this place is going to be crawling with security. Interestingly, this is the same place where Ronald Reagan got shot, and I don't know. It's weird how things happen in this way. I'll have more details coming up.
We're standing inside the Washington Hilton Ballroom where President Trump was escorted off stage just moments after the White House Correspondents' dinner got underway. This is the main aisle where we saw Secret Service agents rush down the aisle to go evacuate the president and many members of his cabinet who were interspersed throughout the room during the dinner, many of them seated at tables. And right now, we do know there was a shooter confirmed, our colleague who stepped out of the room for a moment, witnessed the shooter firing randomly, as we reported earlier. And right now, the president has confirmed that the shooter has been apprehended by law enforcement. What remains to be seen is whether the president himself returns to the ballroom, because we know he's being held backstage and he wanted to return to the ballroom, but the Secret Service is arguing with the president that it wasn't safe for him to come back in the room. There was pure chaos inside this room as that happened. We had been seated at our table not far away. Armed Secret Service agents, dozens of them, rushing over with massive weapons. The president, the vice president, the first lady were all rushed off stage. Everyone here was crowded under their tables. My gate essentially not sure what was actually inside the room. It was pure chaos inside of here, and obviously a massive security issue. I do know there was Secret Service outside the room before you came in. Everyone went back to Tom Cruise. Bags were scanned. People responded. And coming in sure.
Did you see this? Trump was just rushed off the stage at the White House Correspondents' dinner after reports of gunfire. Yeah, actual reports of shots being fired. And this happened in real time while President Trump was at the event with Melania Trump and other top officials. And suddenly you hear popping sounds, people yelling, "Stay calm." And within seconds, security clears the entire area. I mean, they moved fast. Trump, the First Lady, cabinet officials all rushed out immediately. Now, here's where we are at as of right now. Reports say a suspected shooter is already in custody, but beyond that, details are still coming in, and it's not clear yet if anyone was injured, and let's pray nobody was. And what makes this even more intense is this all happened at the Washington Hilton, I believe, the same location where President Reagan was shot back in 1981. So let that one sink in. You've got a sitting president, a high-profile event, reports of gunfire, and now a full security response unfolding in real time. Now, the big question is what actually happened here and how serious is this situation? I'll try to keep you updated. Let me know if you have any updates. Put it in the comment section. Appreciate you.
What happened?
We're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? We didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter. And now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet, but obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened, and they rushed the entire administration off stage. At the beginning of the dinner, everyone's just kind of seated, having their meal, and within moments, armed Secret Service is running in with massive guns. Maybe dozens, and a silence just went over the room as they ran in. Everyone ducked, got on the floor. People were underneath tables. No one knew what was going on. And for a second, the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked. He was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the hallway.
Why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
So there was a shooter at the White House Correspondent dinner. He opened fire inside the hotel where Trump was attending dinner. It was so serious that Trump had to get evacuated. Let me show you the footage. Getting his old ass out of there. Well, it's getting serious. As of now, the shooter is confirmed dead, and Trump is expected to come back to the corresponding dinner. That has people wondering, is this a publicity stunt? How real is this and all of that? With this administration, you really can't trust anything. But yes, a shooter opened fire inside the hotel where Trump was having a White House corresponding dinner, and it was serious enough that Trump had to get evacuated himself. If we get any more news or information, I will let you know. But yeah, shit got real tonight.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.